Hello everyone, welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you're just joining us, please kindly subscribe. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Tinubu's Chicago State University records saga. Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, the Director of Research and Documentation for the Atiku Ukowa Presidential Campaign Organization, reviewed during a Zoom conference hosted by London-based psychologist Professor Govt Emmanuel, that Atiku Abubakar, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate in the 2023 presidential election, is determined to obtain President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's academic records from Chicago State University. The primary goal is to expose alleged identity fraud by President Tinubu and compel the Supreme Court, where articles seek the nullification of Tinubu's victory, to consider new evidence against the All Progressive Congress (APC) candidate in the February 25th presidential election, Vanguard newspaper reports. Dr. Obaseki stressed the seriousness of President Tinubu's efforts to prevent release of these documents, acknowledging that they contain information capable of significantly damaging his reputation and revealing other critical facts. He predicted that a sterling revelation awaits Nigerians when the university officially makes public the details of Mr. President's academic records. This disclosure will unveil the true owner of the certificate President Tinubu has been claiming. Dr. Obaseki expressed confidence that these documents, upon release, may compel the Supreme Court to consider fresh evidence in the ongoing petitions. Dr. Obaseki stated, It is an unwritten provision that when compelling factual facts emerge other than what is already presented at the Presidential Election Petition Court, the Supreme Court will be bound to accept the new facts of the law and rule on them. He highlighted the Supreme Court's moral obligation to ensure justice for all Nigerians, regardless of their social status. Dr. Obaseki also criticized the judgment Presidential Election Petition Court, describing it as failing short of delivering justice to the majority of right-thinking Nigerians. He questioned the Presidential Election Petition interpretation of the 1999 Constitution as amended concerning the Federal Capital Territory and called for the prosecution of Professor Mahmood Yakubu, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), accusing him of complicit in manipulating the electoral process to grant the All Progressive Congress an undeserved victory. Okay, he has said that, well, it will be fine if that will ever happen in Nigeria, but our courts, whether Supreme Court or tribunal, have multiple ways of dealing with this kind of document or angle being, pursued by Atiku in Chicago State University. First of all, they can tell you that Tinubu does not need to have a university degree certificate to be qualified to contest in the 2023 presidential election. Unfortunately, Tinubu has not submitted any primary or secondary school certificate either, and this fact tends to put some pressure on our courts. So they have to do or say something about Tinubu's Chicago certificate. Secondly, our courts have and trained to use the option of saying or insisting that all such matters of age, schools attended or certificates obtained are about a candidate's qualification for election, and the courts are now ruling that issues of qualification are pre-election matters which should have been concluded before the 2023 election in February. That is it. The both Atiku and PDP have been wasting their time pursuing Tinubu certificate in Chicago, which can only serve the argument on qualification and which is pre-election matter. Any such matter lacks merit and it is dismissed accordingly. Okay, someone just dropped that. You understand what the person just said? He said, you see, all these ones Atiku Abubakar is doing in Chicago State, in the US, concerning the Chicago State University and all that. He said Nigerian Supreme Court is not going to make use of it. By the time they will come down here, they will tell you that, no, nobody doesn't need university certificates to become Nigerian's president. And if I may ask, whether a university certificate or primary school certificate or secondary school certificate, in which manner were they presented? That is another one. If you deceive somebody, that one is a different case. That is why I always say in here that Tinubu did not have degree. He does not have primary school result. He does not have secondary school results. Do you think it's Tinubu you have to blame? No, to me. For me, it's not even Tinubu. Tinubu passed through process, right? Before he got to where he is right now. Before you could contest an election in Nigeria, there are processes you have to pass, and there are documents you need to submit. Did the INEC check on those documents? Did INEC actually, see that all these documents are correct? And all that before they said he is qualified to run for the presidential election. So you see, INEC is the problem. Now then they make the international communities, they see our dirty linens. INEC expose us. By now, we should not be talking about this. The truth remains that let me not just say we. I'm not seeing the Supreme Court using whatever that is happening in the US today against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These people, they have already made up their mind. So you see, if the election tribunal can play that game they played, tell me, Nigerians will like, oh, even if they are not going to pronounce, this person actually won the election, there's going to be rerun election at least. That one is okay. That one is okay to start with. But is anything like that? But rather they were busy, like they were in battle with opposition parties.